what has been some of the best conversations you've had at P3C 2020?
Oh, I wasn't sure, like, if you meant here
No.
or like, because there's some
No.
conversations I've had that have been great.
No, conversations, conversations during the conference, conversations. Well, it's all about that networking,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
that's why P3C is a place where those crucial conversations are had.
Yeah.
It helps guide the public sector to where it needs to go.
Well, honestly, a lot of some of the really good conversations I've had are with other public sector people from other public sector entities, and just kind of lamenting over shared woes.
Yes.
And because it doesn't matter if you're higher education or transportation or something else, when you're part of a public entity, there's the red tape is kind of the same, the processes, procedures are the same, and a lot of the issues that you deal with are pretty similar as well. But really talking to them and finding out what they think were the hardest things that they had to go through, what became easier, what did they learn, like what mistakes did you make, what mistakes that we made, and how we can learn from them moving forward has been very valuable.
So those peer-to-peer exchanges are invaluable, right?
Yes.
And hanging out with those that have been in the trenches with you, or been in the trenches doing P3s, and it doesn't have to be an education P3 like you're pursuing right now, just
Right.
hearing the same issues that everyone's faced with.
Yeah.
And trying to work out, well, you've solved it before,
Yeah.
tell me the secret,
Right.
tell me the magic.
Yeah, like kind of like what are the little tricks, right? Like for example, one of the things as a government entity is that we know that whatever we do, when we're building something, when we're buying something, it's all taxpayer money, and we have a responsibility to protect that, right? Working for the state, that's one of our responsibilities. And it's like, we know how expensive things can get. We know how expensive advisors are, how expensive attorneys are, and whatnot. And what are some of the things that you as a public entity, how have you overcome those expenses or mitigated those expenses, right? Like, what are some of the tricks that you use? Like, one of the things that a colleague told me was, well, you need outside counsel. We have inside counsel, but you need outside counsel. And yeah, absolutely we do. And they're like, okay, well, one of the things is get outside counsel, ask them for a template, get your inside counsel to work on that template and mold it to what you need for that transaction, and then take it back to your outside counsel to redline it, right? Which can save hundreds of hours in attorney costs, right? Brilliant idea, super simple.
But also, it brings all the teams together. You're not isolating your internal counsel,
Right.
and supplanting them with external. It's really bringing those two teams together.
Yes.
Because they all have to sign off on it.
They all have to sign off on it, and I think doing it that way, it's so brilliant. I think it saves time, because everyone has, every major law firm has a template.
Yes.
Right. And instead of keep going back and forth, and our internal attorneys saying, no, we want to use our forms, and then having like some kind of head-to-head with outside counsel, that's not what we want. We want a collaboration. We want our inside counsel to be happy that they're protecting the university the best they can, while still being fair to the other party and whatnot. So it's little things like that you don't know until you know.
But that drives the value of networking, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's one of the benefits
Yeah.
of P3C and their conference series. What has been your biggest aha moment of the conference?
One of the things is, so I noticed that there are quite a few subject matter experts and companies that are outside that come from outside of America, right? There are Canadian, a lot of Australian companies.
You don't do a P3 without an
Spanish.
Australian, you know
Yeah,
that, right?
I'm learning that very fast, and I've read up on how great Canada is with their P3 processes, and they have it down, to a science. They're really good at it, and so are some of these other European countries like Spain and Australia as well. And it kind of one of the things that kind of blows me away is that we don't really, especially in Texas. In Texas, we don't have like, I guess, an entity you can say that governs or helps public, especially the public sector, with P3s.
Yes.
So there was a discussion about, and actually I'm drawing a blank right now, but there a section of the government that is working on doing more P3s and funding P3s through the government, but it's mainly 90% for transportation and
Build
highways.
America Bureau.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. But they're really, it's not really a regulatory board. It's more of like, how can we streamline things, make the delivery easier or more streamlined and whatnot. But as far as like being a university or maybe being a county or a city and wanting to do a PC, there isn't really any type of template. There's not really any training. There's not really any education provided by.
No real starting point.
There's no starting point. There's no middle. There's no end. There's no direction, right? Unless we find a networking conference where we can get educated, something like this. There really isn't any direction aside. Like, you really have to look for it to get direction as a government entity.
And I think that's one of the great things that we're being able to do at P3C is create an environment that allows for the conversation,
Right.
the networking,
Yeah.
the problem solving.
Yes.
And one of the great things I think we should be really excited for P3C 2027 is this peer-to-peer exchange environment where we're
Right.
going to really ramp up, because we've heard the owners saying the peer-to-peer exchanges are invaluable.
They
The one-on-ones with the
Yes.
industry
Yes.
are invaluable.
Yeah.
And being able to give you a platform where you can raise your questions in a safe environment where
Right.
everyone here just wants to help.
Right. I agree. And I actually come from corporate real estate is where I come from. And I'm very familiar with, networking, done hundreds of seminars and networking venues and things like that. And it's really great to see something like this for P3s come together, because they're really not that many out there.
No, there isn't.
So it feels, especially when you come back the next year and you see some of the people from last year, and you're like, oh wow, how are you doing?
It's the relationship
It's the
building.
relationship building, and it's like the catching up, and that's where you kind of feel like the closeness and the family and
100%.
whatnot.
That's awesome. So, in your opinion, what's been the vibe of P3C 2026?
The overall vibe.
Yes.
I really love that everybody is so passionate about what they do. No matter what sector they're in, public sector or the private sector, or if they're strictly working on roads and highways, or if they're doing strictly like dormitories or whatever it is, whatever they're doing, everyone here is so focused and so committed and so passionate about what they're doing. And I feel like it's different than just working in a corporate environment. Like, you're doing something with public infrastructure and making the city you live in, the state you live in, the county you live in, the people that are around you, the neighborhoods that are surround you, that your kids grow up in. Like, you're making a difference with the infrastructure
It's
that
that
you're
high
creating.
impact.
It is high impact. It's something that's like tangible. like you're gonna see it and feel it and use it and touch it, and it's not something that's gonna disappear in a year or 2 years. Like, this is gonna
It's
be
the
around
legacy
forever.
building.
It's a legacy building. It absolutely is. And a lot of people, especially in the private sector, talk about how, I want to build generational wealth, or I want to leave something behind for my kids to remember me by, or my grandkids to remember me by, or I want to leave my mark on the world.
Yes.
I mean, what better way to do it than to help in the development of like infrastructure that's going to be around for years and years and years,
Exactly.
And you're
That's actually funny because every time we travel on one of the express lanes in Virginia, my kids know that I worked on those express lanes.
Really?
So it might not be the best legacy that I've given them. Maybe they'll curse me out in 20 years when they actually have to pay the tolls.
right.
But I get that, and I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drives the public sector to explore P3s or alternative delivery to be able to deliver these big, complex projects.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way to do it.
Right.
There's no
Right.
other way to do it. So, Tasmin, what are your goals for the rest of the day? Or the rest of the conference?
Rest of the conference. Well, today is day 2.
Day 2, yeah.
Tomorrow
So you got
is,
one more
day
day.
3.
What are your goals
Um,
to cap off?
to cap off, well, today having some good Mexican food would be fantastic.
And we're going to
to
P3
end the
Fiesta.
Maybe that's where it's going to happen, at the P3 Fiesta. And tomorrow, just start the day off strong and finish strong, and head back with a bunch of new contacts in my phone, a bunch of follow-up that I'm going to be doing next week, and a lot of new ideas that are just brewing, which are going to manifest in the next few days, and let's see what comes of it. Every time I attend one of these things, always walk away with great ideas, and a lot of great things manifest out of being here.
So it's really acted, so P3C 2026 for you has acted as an ideas incubator.
Absolutely.
And you're walking away stronger than ever, more determined than ever.
Determined for sure, and it's just like a rejuvenation, and like just more focus, and it's just like sparks of ideas that come in, and you see other entities doing something, you're like, we should do that, or why haven't we done that? Why didn't we think of that? That's so simple. That's brilliant, And then it's something to take back with you, and then present it to the rest of the team and get everyone on board, and make something of it.
I love it. I love it. Now, P3C 2027, you looking forward to it?
I am definitely looking forward to it.
What are your goals to get out of 2027? What are you going to bring to 2027?
What am I? Hopefully, a completed P3 project.
I love it.
Yeah, and a couple more that would be on the way. What we're really, one of my goals is for the university is actually to try and create our own template of how, from start to finish. Let's say, the entire process from start to finish, which is, and I know it's always going to be a revolving, or not a revolving, an evolving process, because you're always going to be learning, you're going to be changing things, you're going to see that, okay, this worked good, but it could work better. So it's always going to be an evolution that continues, but I would love to put something in place where people that come after me, people that join our team, that they can use as a like a guide,
Yes.
or an outline of like, okay, we have this project, let's figure out if we can do it as a P3 project. Let's start the due diligence process, and walk through it all the way to the
So
end.
my challenge for you in P3C 2027, you're going to showcase your template to the world, and you're going to give back to the community. Deal?
Deal. That's challenge accepted.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Tasmin, thank you so much.
Thank you.